Wow, somebody was already says first, and it wasn't even live on my end yet. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Woodworking for Mere Mortals live stream. And hello, Edward, and thanks for being first. You were on top of things. That was pretty cool. I hope you all have been having a good summer so far. It's been super busy one for me so far, and it may not look like that because I haven't been posting a lot of project videos. That's because I'm working real deeply into right now the Weekend Woodworker. That's the name of the course that we're going to be coming up with. I'm coming up with some help of a bunch of other people. It'll be released this fall, so look for the Weekend Woodworker. I'm really excited about this, and yeah, it's just taking up a lot of my time right now, but there's going to be some really cool projects in that course, and it's geared towards two people who have made a few projects, want to kind of hone their skills a little bit, and also people who have never made a single project, who have just like been sitting on the couch or in an office and thinking, maybe I could make a project or two. So that's what's coming up, and that'll be this fall. I'll let you know more about that. If you're interested, and if you'd like to stay up to date on that, sign up for my email newsletter, the Mimo Memo. There's a link down in the description. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got that coming up. And don't forget, we've got also this fall is Maker's Care coming up. This will be our 3rd annual Maker's Care, where we all get together and make projects and raise money this year for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. So we're also working a lot on that. That'll be starting September 15th. And this year's theme is going to be see what I did there? Make time for play. And so it's going to be about building probably toys or whatever you like. We're going to have it kind of more open-ended this year to interpret that phrase however you like. Make time for play. Of course, I'll be making a woodworking project that you may want to build also. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Hey, did anybody notice my shirt? We've got a bunch of these. Well, Wyatt does. Wyatt came up with this idea for this line of t-shirts for YouTubers and for people who watch a lot of YouTube. And this is one of them. I just thought it's really funny. So you've got to check out his whole line of shirts. He just opened this Spreadshirt shop. He designed it all. And there's some pretty funny ones on there. There's a link also in the description. Check out those shirts. I'll have to show you some more. I think he's wearing one today, so I'll show you that one when we go upstairs here in a little bit. And because, really, this isn't clickbait. You ever notice that? Whenever you see that phrase, not clickbait, it really is clickbait. Okay, let's get on to the topic of this week's live stream. By the way, if you hadn't figured it out, I don't have a regular project video this week because I've been working on the Weekend Woodworker course. So that's why I'm doing the live stream a little bit early. I hope to start changing the times around on the live streams too, so people can watch live in whatever time zone you might happen to be in. Okay. So what I did this week is we thought what would be fun is to revisit some of my past projects, ones that I've made a long time ago or some more fairly recent ones, and let's see how they're holding up, because my house is just filled with projects, and probably about half of the projects that I've made I've actually kept, and then the other half have been donated, given away. Some of them I've just thrown away. I don't know. Who knows what happens to some of them. Sometimes they just no longer spark joy. So I let them go. So anyways, I posted the question on Patreon, to my Patreon feed, about some of the projects you'd like to see, and I suggested 6. Of course, we can go off book here and look at others, but I suggested my bandsaw box, my single sheet of plywood bookcase, my writing desk, my patio table from hell, my chessboard, and my infamous purple bench. So I just kind of wanted to see what people might be interested in seeing again, so I took a little poll, and the number 1 project people wanted to see again was the single sheet of plywood bookcase. And so I'll go up and show you that in the house. That was really a fun project. It was a challenge for me to see if, I just wanted to challenge myself to see if I could make a bookcase using just one sheet of plywood, nothing else. And I wish I had, today I would have edited that video differently, because I kept in this long part about me fussing with the finish on it, because I was using that poly shades finish, which was a disaster. I ended up painting the thing. I'll show you that in a minute. So the second project people wanted to see was, of course, my chessboard. This was the first project that I posted on YouTube. And followed by my writing desk. I was kind of curious that people were interested in seeing the writing desk. After that came the patio table. People want to see another update on my disastrous patio table finish. Followed by my bandsaw box and my purple bench. So that's the order of interest people on Patreon had of seeing my projects. And I want to thank Corey Helmer, John Drake, Michael Bremer, and Tom Kelly for helping me out with that. And I also want to read some of their comments too that I thought were interesting. First of all, Corey asked, didn't you resurface the patio table once already? Yes. Now it's going to be a third time. And John Drake wanted to know about my spline jig. Talk about old projects. This was like last week. So my spline jig, he wanted to know how often do I think I'll use it? Probably never. I think I made it for that project. Let me show it to you real quick. Do you like it when I disappear like that? Okay, so this is the spline jig I made a couple weeks ago, real basic kind of thing, and it's for cutting the splines on the insides of miters. And I did that because I wanted to see how that would work out, if it was a viable option. I think some of you might try it, but me, I don't think I'll do it again. It's just too fussy to get this right, get the splines right, and I don't think, it does add a lot of strength, especially when the splines are going cross grain like that. That test frame I made, I think I may have thrown it out. I think I did throw it out. I should have saved that so I could have showed you. I was just banging it against the table and it would not break. So those miters are super strong. But this is my go-to spline jig. If I'm going to make splines in the future, I'll just stick with this because it's a lot easier to use and it's kind of foolproof. So anyways, that was a good question, John. Thanks for that. And Michael Bremer wanted to say that he wanted to see the outdoor table, but then he remembered that I already answered the question. But no, you want to see it again. I got to show this to you. He has sort of a long comment, so I'll just cut to the chase on some of this here. He said he made a fire pit cover out of a sheet of plywood, and for some silly reason, he likes to see the natural look of wood. Thought it would be a good idea to stain it and put polyurethane on it. Boy, was I wrong. In less than 6 months of use, it already looks faded, dull, and aged. Yeah, it's a real problem with outdoor projects. And what I'm surprised about when you said you used plywood for that it hasn't started to split, because plywood is really hard to use outdoors because moisture gets in between those plies and they all just start to fall apart. He said he likes to avoid white paint outdoors. He made a bench and it was looking yellow and stained within a week. I think that might just be a bad type of paint, because I've had pretty good luck with white paint. Sometimes it gets dirty, but every paint does, I guess. So he's interested to see how my purple bench held up, and I'll give you a spoiler, it's holding up really well. So he says he's using polyurethanes and spar urethanes for indoor goods from now on. I think that's a pretty good idea. I simply don't have the time to constantly refinish pieces to keep them looking pristine. I know, right? I mean, finishing is kind of a pain. I mean, there's some people who really like to finish, but it's sort of a pain to do because every project is really going to need some sort of a finish or paint. But man, outdoor projects are just nothing but trouble. And then Tom Kelly wrote me a note here. over on Patreon, and I think he's kind of trolling me a little bit. He says, I can't seem to find the chess pieces to vote for, Steve. Did Wyatt take them to school and leave them there? It's an ongoing joke that I made the chess. This is like one of my biggest regrets in my entire life, is that on my first video, my first project on this channel, at the very end of it, after I finished building the chessboard, I said, well, now I need to make chess pieces. That video is coming up next. So that was in 2008. So here we are, 2017, and I still haven't made the chess pieces. Although, well, I did have the suggestion of, like, that would be my 10th anniversary video would be the chess pieces. So that's not a bad idea. I also should mention that I have chess pieces because a bunch of guys, a bunch of other YouTubers got together a couple of years ago. Super cool thing they did secretly, and they all got together and made chess pieces themselves. So it's an interesting combination of chess pieces to see how everybody interpreted their pieces. Like the one guy did, you know, the pawns, or half the pawns, and another guy did the rooks, and so they're all different. They're all about the same size, but I think it's really cool. Different types of wood and everything. So that's how much people want to see those chess pieces. So it'll be coming. But Tom also said he wants to see the router table. So I think I just showed that on the live show a couple times ago, but I'll try to show it again if I can remember that. Okay, hey, look who's here. Hey, Kitty. She's got cobwebs on her face. And she doesn't like to be held. All right. She's getting old. You know, Princess Meow Meow is 13 years old now. So she just she sleeps a lot. This is like her big outing of the day. She'll wander around for 30, 40 minutes and then it's like, back to bed for me. Okay, you guys, let me show you some of these old projects here. I'm going to start with ones that I brought down here, and then we'll go into the house so you can case the joint. Okay, I'll start with my bandsaw box. This was the first bandsaw box I ever made. I might have made like a test one, just a basic shape or something, just to see how the process worked. But this was made out of cedar. I think it's cedar. Opens up like that. I always thought that the pull on that looked like a pork chop. I think there were people who commented on that. But well, that's a video I would love to just remake too, just because I hate looking at those old videos. I was really obnoxious in some of those videos. But the design on this bandsaw box I really like, because it was just super simple. A lot of people have made this design, and you can too. I think the key to bandsaw boxes is to keep them simple, because I've seen a lot of bandsaw boxes that have multiple drawers and all these organic shapes. And while they should have some sort of a kind of an organic shape, I think the simpler the better. But anyways, it still holds up. I don't keep anything in it. I actually have a second one too that looks just like this. I think I made two for that video. So there's the bandsaw box. This was, by the way, this was finished with an oil finish of some sort. I'm not sure if I put linseed oil or tung oil or something on it, but so it kind of looks like it doesn't have a finish anymore. You know, when you first finish something, it has that nice rich color. It still looks pretty good, but you know, anytime you're going to be using an oil finish, it's a maintenance finish. If you want to keep things looking nice, you're going to just have to keep re-oiling them. And I made that, you know, 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. I don't know. Okay, let me show you the chessboard. I'm going to go take this off the tether here. Sorry about that. Hey, you like looking at my hand? Okay, let's flip this around. Okay, here is the chessboard, and the chessboard still, it looks great. People still like to watch that video, or actually there was 7 videos. It was long and boring, and I think the main reason people like to watch that video is because of the finish I did on this project, which is it's a high gloss finish. It's a lot of work to get a finish like that. I think I did, in that 7-part series, I think one episode was just nothing but putting that finish on there. So again, I tried to keep everything simple, and the pulls on it are just simple squares to reflect the squares of the chessboard. And then inside, I'm shooting it from this side, so I don't have the backlit from the garage door. Let me see if it works over here. I guess I can do it this way. So here's the drawers, and I made them so that they would hold the chess pieces, which I just still don't have. So this would be your 8 pieces for either the black or the white side, and then all the pawns would just lay in back here. And you can see where I screwed up actually when I made this, and I put notches on this side and here, and honestly I don't remember what happened there, but that's the kind of thing that today I probably would have redone that, but I just let it go. And so it's kind of weird looking with those notches in there. But overall, I'm still really happy with the chessboard. It's big. I've had like professional chess players, or I don't know if there are. Yeah, there's still professional chess players, but I've had some chess players tell me that a glossy finish is not a good finish for a chessboard, and they're probably right. Because if you're staring at the board for a long time, that glossy finish can get hard on your eyes. But the way I play chess, a game never lasts that long. Okay, let me move on here. Let's see, what were the other projects? Okay, so that's how. Oh, and the other question people ask about. Okay, let me flip this around again. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. The other thing people ask about was the top, and if the way I glued this on, because this is a made kind of like a cutting board, you know, well, sort of, where you just cut all the pieces and then shift them apart, and then so it's like kind of a thinnish veneer that's just glued on, I think, plywood, if I remember right. And I've had a number of people ask me if any of these were coming up or if it was warping or anything, and no, it's fine. I think that, and this is my personal opinion, and it may just be because of where I live. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't think wood movement is a huge problem on smaller projects. I think if you're building a small thing, the amount of wood movement for expansion and contraction is pretty minor, and I don't really think you're going to have any problems. But don't hold me to that. You may live in a really humid place where I'm totally wrong there. On bigger projects like a table or something, I would definitely think that would be more of an issue. But again, my chessboard hasn't been a problem. Okay, so let's flip this back around, and we're going to go look at the patio table, and then onto the writing desk. We'll do the purple bench first because it's right outside the door. Okay, move it. Hey, look, kitty, Princess Cam. She's kind of busy out here today. Okay, let's go on out here. I just moved this purple bench out so you could see it. I've been keeping it just kind of against this wall, because we have the popsicle bench in the front yard now. But here's the purple bench, and those of you who aren't aware, this is the bench that launched 1,000 purple paint jokes, or probably even more. It's something that people think that I've painted so many projects purple, and in fact I think this is like the only one I've painted purple, other than maybe a couple times I painted something just to kind of troll people. But this is the only real project I've painted purple. It's all made out of 2x4s, and there's a dowel here that I just drilled a hole through all of these 2x4s, and then just ran that dowel all the way through here, and then one on the other side. It's a real simple construction, and it has held up great. And the best thing about it is that the paint looks fantastic, and I built this almost exactly 4 years ago to the day. I think it was like July 18th or something. I was looking at when I posted the video. So here it is, like 4 years later, and the paint looks great. It's kind of in some shade there. It's got some dirt on it. It could probably use a washing. But for store-bought Home Depot 2x4, you know, stud grade studs, I think it looks pretty good. And there's not a single thing I would change about that bench. I really like it. I think it's fun to put a brightly colored piece of furniture in your yard. You know, it just kind of makes things nice. And to try to avoid looking at my backyard, it's kind of a disaster right now. Remember I had a pond down there? The pond is empty because birds ate all the fish, but everything else, I just let it go this past winter, and so there's just weeds there. But we're in the process of hopefully getting this work done. Okay, so let's go take a look at the table. And this used to be grass here too. It's all dying, so I don't water it. Okay, here is the table that is so frustrating. So you'll remember that I had problems with the finish on this thing. I refinished it and it looked great. And this was just last year. I don't even think it was a year ago. And now it's just, look at this. I don't even know what this is. It's like dark. It's not dirt. I mean, dirt doesn't get like that. I don't know what's going on with this finish. This was a redwood deck stain that I used on that. Even on the vertical surfaces are some problems. I don't know how well this is showing up with the harsh sunlight on it. Maybe you can see a little bit. Oh, and here's one of the, remember the pot heads in the front yard? This one fell. My wife was doing some landscaping in the front yard, and this one fell off the popsicle bench, and so she tried to glue it back together, and it didn't really work. So now it's kind of like a horror show. I think she'll just have to make another one. So anyways, the table is horrible, just horrible. I don't know why I have never been able to get a good finish on this table. So at this point, what I'm gonna do is power wash it, and we're gonna paint it. I'm just gonna paint it. I mean, you look at that bench down there, that's exterior house paint, and here it is 4 years later, and it looks brand new, other than it could use to be washed. But I'm just pretty much convinced that the only way to protect outdoor furniture and projects is to paint them, if you really want a lot of protection and you don't want to have to keep messing with it all the time. So that's how that's ended up. By contrast, this also dead plants in it. Excuse our deadness around here, but remember, some of you may remember this this planter box I made as an experiment, and this is older than the table. This planter box has got to be probably 5-6 years old maybe. And I made this with no finish on it at all, completely unfinished, just to see how long the wood would last, how long it would weather, you know, how it would weather. And the results speak for themselves, really. I mean, it's filled with dirt. It hasn't rotted out. You can see some of the plants in there were starting to grow out the sides. So I don't know what that tells you about wood finishes, other than maybe they're not all they're cracked up to be. Okay, so let's go inside. It's getting hot. Look at the cat. She's trying to crawl under the deck. What the? Cat butt. I kind of don't know what she's trying to get under there, but maybe I just don't want to know. Oh, look, she's completely going in there. Okay. You guys didn't tune in to see my cat. Okay, I'm gonna go inside now and show you the other projects. You should see the cat.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh my God, she's going completely under. Look at her, she's completely under the deck. What does she see? Is there like an animal or something in there? Oh my God, that fat cat. Oh. Well, that was weird.
What?
Hey, let me show you Wyatt's shirt. It's the infamous red arrow and the red circle. If you want to have a YouTube thumbnail, that's it.
That's all you need.
I think that's all you should do. Just make thumbnails with just that. Just an arrow and a circle. The circle doesn't circle anything, and the arrow is just pointing to the circle. Perfect. There's your perfect thumbnail. You get that. Oh, and then you could also add the not clickbait to it. Anyway, so Wyatt's in here. He's moderating the.
And you can also see how far past we are.
That's weird. I can watch. Oh yeah, it's a little bit of a delay, huh?
Yeah, it's about
So I'm gonna point.
7 seconds.
Inception. Okay, here's the writing desk, and let me see if I pull this down, you'll be able to see it better. Sorry about that. Okay, so the writing desk was a real fun project, and this is all made from pine with a maple top to it and pine edging. I kind of like the juxtaposition of really cheap pine with maple. So, you know, it's one of those things that I think when you build projects like this, if it's not really a functional project because, well, I have this desk right here. So I don't really need that for sitting, and you know, I don't write a lot of like handwritten love letters and things, so it's not really used as a writing desk. So instead it collects junk, and I actually just kind of cleaned it off this morning a little bit so it didn't look so bad. But here's a bunch of you who have asked for stickers. I'm getting to those this weekend, so you'll be getting your stickers really soon. These are some magazines. Hey, this was signed by Tom Savini, who did the effects for Friday the 13th. I collected these magazines from way back in like 1984. But anyways, that was when I went to the Texas Frightmare and got to meet Tom Savini. That was really, really cool. I'm not sure what else to say about the writing desk. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. The only comment I got a few times on the video was some people didn't like the pulls on it with the little, I don't know, it's a flower or something. I thought it kind of fit with the theme. It looks quaint, I guess. I did use the drawer runners in this project just because these drawers I use a lot. And anytime I'm gonna have a drawer that is opened and closed a lot, I'll use drawer runners. If it's a project like, I don't know, a nightstand or something where I'm not using those drawers very often, then I just put wooden runners in there, or they're not even really runners. I guess they're runners, right? The drawer just slides on them. And tapered legs. So that was the only other kind of feature of that project. Okay, hey, there's a thing right there. I mean, that little step stool right there. There's a lot of junk in here. This is a frame I made. It's all covered up. Charging station. I want to make a new charging station too, because that one doesn't really work with more modern devices. Okay, so everywhere you go, you're gonna see things that I've made. Here's this thing here, that thing. God, they're everywhere. There's my chairs from last year that were in the fair this year, and I won first prize on those. The little stand over there in the corner. But anyways, we'll come back to those some other day. I'm gonna take you into the living room. There's dining table. And okay, so here's the single sheet of plywood bookcase. And again, that was a challenge just to see what I could do with a single sheet of plywood and make something that looked fairly nice. And I really like the design of this thing because it's got the little cubbies and everything. And I made this back when CDs were still a thing, so we've got some CDs there that I should probably get rid of them because it's not, I can't even remember the last time I listened to a CD. What can I say about this? Oh, so I
found her way out of the deck.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I painted this project because I tried to use Minwax poly shades and it was a disaster. The stuff would not go on, it wouldn't stick. And but this color looks pretty good. I kind of like that salmon color, I guess. This was a really early project that I made. You can tell it's early because there's how old Wyatt was in that picture there. Let's see. I think he was probably 10 or something there. I don't know. That's super delicate project. It actually broke one time and I had to re-glue it back together. There's my, what do you call it? Brutalist lamp with the concrete base and the bent oak. Here's my other lamp. This was my steampunk lamp. I don't use those lamps. I'm not really sure what to do with them. I like the design of these a lot. These were also projects that the art projects on my channel are like the least favorite projects for people. And maybe it's just because art is kind of, well, it is so subjective. So I try not to do a whole lot of those art projects. Some people really like them, but for me, it's a lot of fun just to expand my horizons a bit and to just try to build stuff like that. This was a frame I made that was also, so it holds a tablet down here, and it's a picture frame. Hey, there's the cube in a cube. This is one of my earliest projects. And this was a puzzle. It comes apart somehow like that. I can't do it one-handed. And there's the other bandsaw box. It's the sister of the other box, or brother. It's the same thing, but I think I made this with just cheaper wood because you can tell it's got blemishes on it, and I had a different knob on it. This one doesn't have the pork chop pull, and there's nothing in there. So that's the single sheet of plywood bookcase. And this was a project I made actually long before my YouTube channel. This was this one looks really nice too. I put the shallow drawer here. It was intended to keep remotes and that sort of thing, and then big deep drawers here for DVDs, which kind of like the CDs we don't really watch anymore. But actually, you want to see something fancy on this? Ooh, dovetails. This was back before the whole concept of woodworking for mere mortals, so that one would probably be beyond the scope of my channel today. And everything, of course, in here, mid-century modern credenza, coffee table, cat back from under the deck. What are you doing under there? She's got spider webs on her face. Okay, I'm gonna go back outside. You can see Wyatt back in here moderating. Not clickbait. Alright, heading back outside. Did I forget anything? I think that was it, the 5 projects. Okay, head back to my shop. And I'll flip this back around. Okay, well that was kind of fun. We'll do that again sometime. I didn't want to go through the entire house because that would really start to get long and boring, I think. So in the future, if you want to do this again, let me know and I'll show you like the guest bathroom that I remodeled last year. Sometimes people have been asking me why I never did a full walkthrough of that project, because it really, I redid everything in the bathroom. The new vanity, the sink, it was new, the new mirror, another mirror, a thing, I don't know, there were a lot of things in that bathroom. So I'll show that to you sometime too. And then there's lots of projects in the bedrooms too, but I didn't want to have to make the bed, you know. So we'll come back to those another day. But I hope you enjoyed those projects. Let's see. Yeah, looks like that was it. I didn't forget any of them. Thank you all for your suggestions over on Patreon, and I hope you enjoyed that. Now, let me see if I can catch up on some of your comments. I feel like such a multitasker here. You know, if you're going to do these live streams, I think it would be impossible to do it without somebody. And so thank you, Wyatt, for helping out in the comments. This is helping out a lot. And Wyatt's been helping me with my videos ever since my very first video, my chessboard video. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start to scroll backward. I'm sorry for all of you who left comments like early on it's just difficult to, obviously, to answer those comments. So I'm just going to go kind of backwards from like this point back and answer a few comments. Has the bathroom vanity held up? From Matthew. Yes, the bathroom vanity is working great. I'm glad I built the bathroom vanity because it's up at a normal human height, me. Because before that, it was really low. And I don't know, maybe that was just the way they built them in 1955. They built these low sinks. I'd like to replace the one in the master bath too, because it's just too low. I hate that. Is it just me, or do Kitty's eyes look different than from most cats? I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe it's just showing up that way on video. But a lot of people comment on her pretty eyes. Okay. Somebody's asking about the chessboard. That was at the beginning of this live stream. Don't forget these live streams instantly. As soon as it's done, it gets re-uploaded or goes on YouTube, so you can watch the replay if you can't watch it actually live. Somebody's asking Wyatt about playing ARMS on Nintendo. Wyatt just got that Nintendo Switch, and so he's been playing that a lot. He just got Splatoon last night, the new Splatoon. And you know what one he got me playing? Because I don't really play video games, but a couple of times I've played. Wyatt, what's it called? Snipper clips? Is that? I think that's it. But it's real fun because it's a puzzle game and I can hear him running down the steps. It's a puzzle game. Here he is. Look, you can come over here. What was that game called?
Snipper clips.
Snipper clips. Okay,
Yeah.
It's fun, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because two people play the game, but it's not just like you're playing against each other or something. You can't solve the puzzles without both of you working together. And I think that's I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of games like that. I don't know. But to me, it seems cool.
I don't know. It seems odd for me, and I know a lot of these games, so.
Cool. Okay, that solves that. And there's the cat again. She's really busy out here today, isn't she? Somebody said you had pretty eyes, or at least different eyes. Okay. Somebody said those dovetail joints were so shallow on the angles that they were nearly box joints. Yeah, they were pretty. You know, I made that using that dovetail jig. It was one of the few times I ever used that dovetail jig on my router. And a couple of times. Man, that dovetail jig was a pain to use. It was just like, it came with a manual that was thick, you know, and it wasn't the kind of, if I made dovetails every day, I'm sure I would get used to it, but I would make them, you know, twice a year, and then I would have to relearn the whole thing, and it would take me like 2 hours to set this thing up, to run some tests. They wouldn't quite fit, run some more tests. I'd go through a whole stack of practice boards before I would get an actual good dovetail. So to me, I think that if you're gonna make dovetails, if that's your bag, learn how to cut them by hand. It's one of the few times I would actually recommend hand tools over the power tool route. There's some controversy because I think that I've seen guys who can use a saw and they just saw right through and they work every time. But I don't know, maybe it would take a lot of practice. Somebody said fake dovetails, I bet. In fact, they hide the pocket screws. Let's see. Somebody thought the light was a banana holder at first. I'm not sure. Oh, the lamp. Yeah, because the banana holder was another project where I still have my Cleaning Boy Wanted sign, and that was a video Wyatt was in. That was an old one too, where we did a silent movie with building that banana stand. Oh yeah, somebody got confused, I think, because when I'm answering the chat, it's not me, it's Wyatt, but he's using my account. I'm just logged in. That's why it comes up as my name. Okay. Trying to find some more questions. Somebody says, this is Marty's ramblings. I do mostly scroll sawing. You need to get a good one sometime. Lol. DeWalt or Delta. Yeah, I'd like to get a new scroll saw. I think scroll sawing is a lot of fun, and I think I would have more fun if I had a good scroll saw, or at least a scroll saw that wasn't 300 years old. Not that old. And Mike says, do you still make woodworking videos? I haven't seen any projects in months. Yeah, last week I did a jig, and then 2 weeks before that I did the wacky picture frame. So make sure you got notifications turned on. But yeah, I'm cutting back. I'm only doing a project video like every other week or so while I'm working on this course. So I can get back to normal next fall, or this fall. Diego said the video of the bookcase was the first one he saw. Oh, that's good. That bookcase was actually one of my most popular videos on the channel. It's the right combination of keywords people are looking for. Single sheet bookcase, single sheet plywood bookcase project. Boom. People want to watch that, I guess. That's how you game YouTube. And let Kitty in. She's in now. I'm looking at older comments, so I guess some of those aren't really as timely anymore. 87 Helm says his daughter and him made that step stool also. Good. That's a really fun project, and it's useful. I use that step stool all the time. We have some really high cabinets that even I can't reach, and they're deep too, so it's easy. There's actually 2 step stools. I'm not exactly sure which one you're referring to. There's the one that has the 2 steps, and then there's the one that has the handle on. I like the one with the handle because it's easy to just pick it up and move it around. Let's see. Mancrafting says there seems to be a lot of YouTubers moving into different shops. Any plans in the near future? Nope. I'm going to be here. This is my grave, this shop. No, I don't know. I don't plan on moving anytime soon. It's too expensive to move around here, and this shop works out great for me. So I have no plans of moving. But it does seem like there's a lot of YouTubers moving around, huh? I know Matthias Wandel just moved. He moved to a big place out in the country. I don't know. I thought he lived out in the country, but maybe I was wrong. To me, it seems like everybody kind of lives out in the country. Oh, somebody said, Timothy Lundell wants to know how the whirligig's holding up. I just ended up throwing it away finally. It was deteriorating. An example of a project made partially out of plywood. And even though it was painted, I painted it with acrylic craft paints, so it wasn't a good exterior paint. But I just threw that away. Like last month, I had to make my annual trip to the dump to get rid of a bunch of junk, and I just decided that's probably it, because the little man fell off and the spinny thing fell off. So I don't know. It's kind of the nature of a lot of projects is they only last a little while. Some projects I build to last, but not often. I get tired of looking at things, I guess. If they no longer spark joy, it's time to move on. And well, I'm sorry about the slow. I'm sorry about this is kind of boring, isn't it? Watching me scroll through comments. Okay, I'm just gonna go whoosh, all the way through these scroll, and I'm just gonna pick a couple comments, and then we'll wrap up this dog and pony show. There's so much chit chat. I'm trying to find any. Somebody else asked about the whirligig. Oh, somebody asked me, this is from Adrian, asked me if a penny is still in it. I mean, he's probably talking about the chessboard. Yeah. For a while there, every time I was building a project where I would have something encased, you know, there'd be like a hollow spot, I would put a penny inside of it of the year that I made the project. I just tape it up in there. And I don't know why. I figured someday, years, if somebody ever takes it, why would somebody ever take it apart? I don't know. But if anybody ever does, they would find that penny. And I think I left a note in there too. I don't know. I like to do things like that. I rebuilt the wall where our fireplace is, put new drywall up there like 15 years ago. And so we put notes in there. I think Wyatt drew pictures of Thomas the Tank Engine on the inside of there. So just a little Easter egg for the future. Someday somebody will find that. Or maybe I will if I ever redo that wall. Who knows? Okay, I think that's about it. We could probably wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for joining me on this live show. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of the past projects. Don't forget to check out Wyatt's t-shirt store. I think you're going to like some of those, especially if you watch a lot of YouTube. You're going to get the references. They are shirts for, like, shirts that if you wear these, the average public are just going to be puzzled. They're going to say, what does that mean? Not clickbait. But if other people are watching YouTube and they're aware of all kind of the YouTube tropes going around, then they'll get a kick out of them. So the link is down in the description for that. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter so you can stay up to date with the Weekend Woodworker course, which is going to be coming up this fall, and Maker's Care, which is also starting this fall. Start thinking about projects that you can make for that, and we can raise a lot of money for the Children's Miracle Network. And that wraps it up here. The cat is out from under the deck, and she's sitting here looking outside, so all is well. I'll see you guys later. Thanks again for watching.